Welcome to the Fat Guys with Smokers podcast. I'm Mike.
And I'm John. We're a couple of overweight barbecue enthusiasts trying to share our love for sweet and smoky food with the world.
Thanks for hanging out with us as we talk about life, share recipes, successes, and failures that have all led to our love of cooking outdoors.
Welcome back, everybody. I may have started. Nope. I should have just rolled with it.
I'm really glad you went because I feel like I start too soon every time and then I just like,
Here we go.
I thought you pulled it off.
Well, now that we've totally flipped it.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm John here with Mike for another fabulous episode of Fat Guys with Smokers.
Yep. I'm excited. I feel like it's been a while. Like we did the Traeger Day thing, and it's been a minute since we've just sat down and recorded.
I was going to say, it's been a long time since we've been in the studio.
Yeah.
And we're not going to be in the studio next time.
Mm-mm. Next time's going to be pretty intense.
It's going to be epic.
I'm excited.
Road trip, people. Episode number 2 in the car.
Indeed. We got so much positive feedback last time that I thought, let's do this again.
And I'm pretty sure I figured out how to bring a camera with us.
Oh, really?
So,
okay.
YouTube will be great because apparently people watch the YouTube.
Yeah.
Why, I don't know. Yeah, I'm just going to say sorry for last week's episode. Editing the Traeger Day video might have been one of the most embarrassing and like personally shameful things I have ever done in my entire life. From my shirt being pulled up and my butt hanging out of my pants to
Well, you know, we're doing whatever we can to get this podcast to take off, and if it takes you showing a little bit of skin, that's a risk I'm willing to take, John.
I'm just glad there weren't like skid marks on my underwear or something. Like that would have been whoa.
I'm gonna have to go rewatch it. I haven't watched it yet.
Don't.
I just felt like I was so cringy the whole time that I was
like it's. I should make you edit one just so you can feel the cringe.
Oh shoot!
No, but it was a lot of fun. We learned a lot. Like I think.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not just learning a lot about barbecue, but I feel like I'm learning a lot about podcasting and vlogs.
How to share your barbecue with people, and
it's a lot harder than it looks.
Oh yeah, man.
So yeah, next time we already talked about it, like we really need a third person to run a camera.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mike's really focused in one direction, and when one of us is behind it, trying to talk to the other one, it was fun. So, thanks to everyone that watched. If you did watch, one of the stupid things I did made Mike laugh so hard that he almost passed out.
It was pretty hilarious. We worked really hard on those taters, and then you just dumped them out.
Yeah.
It was really rude.
I dumped them all over the deck. I need to make a reel of you laughing. Just of you just like cry laughing.
I haven't laughed that hard in a long time.
Oh my gosh.
Just because we'd spent so much time like and making sure they were good, and then suddenly you just
So for anyone who didn't watch last week, we cooked potatoes. We smoked them. It was taking too long. We were getting hungry. We were both exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
And our families wanted us to do more than just spend all day filming a Traeger Day tribute episode.
Yeah.
So we tried to hurry them up, cooked them on the flat top for part of the time. And as I was going to take them in the house.
Yeah, like they were done. We were just in the transport phase.
Yeah. My hand gave out on me. And just, I couldn't hold the weight anymore. And it dumped 75% of the potatoes that Mike had just finished cooking all over my deck.
I mean, it was a lot, too. Like, this was not like a 9x13 pan. That was a big pan.
No, it was a full hotel pan. Like,
yeah.
It was like
we ended up with like a cereal bowl full of potatoes and kielbasa.
Man, and bless your heart, like, I would have been like, are you effing kidding me?
Oh, man. I haven't laughed that hard in a long time. I was like red face, having trouble breathing, trying to recover.
But that's how we know people watch the YouTube. I mean, yeah, we've got metrics and stuff, and it says people watch. But
yeah,
tell about your experience.
Oh yeah, well I was just talking to my buddy Larry. He works over at the school that I work at, and he was just like, "Man, how'd your potatoes turn out?" I was so mad when John dropped them all, but I laughed for a long time about it. It's pretty funny. Yeah. So thanks for listening, Larry.
Yeah, Larry, trust me, nobody was madder than I was. Oh man,
that was funny. But I feel like we are nothing if not authentic. That's just how it goes sometimes, and you just got to roll with it.
Got to roll with the punches.
Yep.
Go for it.
Oh, we're never going to be very smooth, I'm afraid, but hopefully people just love us for who we are.
I'm going to chalk it up to the paint fumes.
Yeah, there we go.
We talked about this a couple of episodes, and life is just, like normal, gotten in the way. Mm-hmm. But the new studio is getting painted.
Yeah.
So
by the professional paint crew, who's doing a fabulous job, by the way.
Love you, Haley.
She's doing awesome. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah. It's gonna be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
So,
dude, school's out. Projects are in full swing. It's an exciting time. Shout out.
Shout him out, man.
I thought we'd shout out Cooking with Daryl. If you're not familiar with him, I watch him. I see him on Reels all the time. I watch him on TikTok too. Does a lot of flat top stuff. I've seen a few episodes where he'll make like breakfast burritos for an entire baseball team on his Blackstone. He does all kinds of cool stuff, shrimp fried rice and just different things.
He's got a killer recipe for Italian beef sandwiches.
Oh, that's right. I've seen that one.
Yeah, I've made that one.
Have you?
From his recipe, and it's
pretty good, huh?
That's awesome.
He's a good dude. So
yeah, I'm pretty sure it was him too that like has a Cooking with Daryl cruise. Like you
go on a cruise and he cooks for you, or what?
Like he's sponsoring a cruise, or I'm pretty sure it was him.
Well, now I got to look this up. Cooking with Daryl cruise. Is it like a educational thing or like a?
I don't know. Honestly, like I just know it's like a meet and greet of his community, and I assume he's going to be cooking, but.
I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. Fine dine, cruise, and play golf.
Yeah, that sounds right.
That's awesome. Daryl, I don't know how to say your last name. Postolnik is what I'm going to say.
Good Polish name from Chicago.
Yeah. Is that where he's from, Chicago? That seems right.
Yep.
Man, that's awesome. Yeah, he's got a freaking cruise. That's hilarious.
So, folks, if you want to go on a cruise with me and Mike, we just need a few more followers. How many followers does Cooking with Daryl have?
He has 3 million. Based on what I'm seeing right here.
3 million followers. So, if
we times our followers by 1 million, we'll almost be there.
Yeah, I was going to say, so if 3 million of your friends want to follow us, we can go on a cruise, and Mike and I will cook a whole pig.
Oh, absolutely.
On the cruise ship.
That would be pretty awesome.
I have a new life goal.
But we should cruise somewhere because we're just going to eat. Nobody's going to want to get off and do
let's just
what are they called? Voyages or
excursions? Let's just
cruise.
Let's just do circles in the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah. I was going to say the Great Salt Lake.
No way, man. There's way too many mosquitoes at the Great Salt Lake.
Oh, it'd be amazing. Anyway, so yeah, Cooking with Daryl. Good dude.
For the cruise. That's awesome. Yeah.
I'm going to have to look into that cruise a little more. I've never even thought of that. Or I've never seen it, so I haven't really looked into it. That's awesome.
I know Meat Church. Meathead. Have we talked about Meathead on here?
Yeah, you brought him up, I feel like, first episode or something.
AmazingRibs.com.
Yeah.
That community has done a couple of cruises.
Really? So is it like a cooking class? Like you go on the cruise and everybody kind of
think
makes something, or he just cooks for you the whole time?
No, I don't even think he cooked the whole time. I think he did like a cook, but otherwise it was just like the community of like
Just hanging
barbecue
out, huh?
people hanging out on the boat and like going on excursions together. And
That's cool.
I mean, I've got to think there's a lot of alcohol involved.
I was going to say, I feel like doing that sober would maybe not be as fun, but
Yeah,
probably how we would roll because we're both non-drinkers.
I know.
Except for Maverick.
The Mav,
Maybe Maverick would sponsor it. I'm just saying.
that could be intense.
They're into all kinds of stuff, so.
That's true. It is Adventure's first stop.
Indeed. Maverick, hit us up.
So we did just have a pretty awesome holiday.
Yeah.
Not just for what it actually represents.
Mm-hmm.
Memorial Day.
Yeah.
Grateful to, I mean, my grandpa served. I
Yeah.
lots of family.
Both of mine did.
Grateful for the sacrifices people have made that allow us to do stupid things like sit in our basement and
Yeah.
record a podcast about barbecue.
Yeah, absolutely. Very cool holiday. I feel like sometimes gets overlooked by what we love to do, which is barbecues, but
Yeah, it's the
obviously there's a bigger reason behind it all.
the official, unofficial start of barbecue season.
Mm-hmm.
So, what'd you do, Mike?
Dude,
You had a pretty big cook.
I did. It was actually really fun. So I talked a little about the competition my brother signed us up for, and I'm excited about it, but nervous. There's more meats on the. I mean, last year it was just chicken thighs and ribs, so it was kind of fun, and it was like a 6-hour cook, and it was over. Well, this year he signed us up for brisket and pork shoulder, and then those two things. So I really haven't cooked a lot of brisket. Like I've done some, and I feel confident in it, but wanted kind of a trial run. So it was his idea, and I think it was a great idea. So we gave it a shot this weekend and got a brisket. I think I just got it at Costco or whatever. And so trimmed it the night before because I wasn't sure. Like I say, I haven't cooked a lot of brisket, and I was doing it on my offset. So this was my second cook on my offset. The first time was when I did 8 pork butts. So I made sure I had plenty of wood because I learned that last time. And I got some hickory from Home Depot that, I tell you what, man, the smell of hickory,
That's awesome.
I'm a big fan. Like, I've avoided it because I was afraid it would give too strong of a flavor to the meat, like mesquite or something like that. But, man, it's delicious. Like, just sniffing it, it was amazing. So I started on hickory. I made notes because I feel like I always rush through everything and then I forget to say certain things. Trimming, I learned a lot on the trimming. I feel like I wanted to be conservative. Watch some videos and I've done it a couple times before, but I see how much they cut off and I'm just like, you're wasting so much meat. And now I understand why they cut those things off. Like there's just so much fat that the meat is, I mean, it's not really edible. And so learned a lot from that. I've since been doing a little more research. When you trim a brisket, John, do you trim the fat cap off of the point?
I don't take it all the way off. I take mine down to, I try to get, like the rule of thumb I've always heard is about a 1/4 inch.
Yeah.
So I take that whole top side down to about a 1/4 inch.
Yeah. See, and that's, I mean, like I say, I was afraid I was going to cut into the meat. I was so worried about that I think I left like a 1/2 inch, and that was too much. Like, it was delicious. It was still really good, and the fat there is a lot of flavor that comes from the fat, but just like when you're carving it, it was almost like gelatinous up top.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a bummer. So anyway, learned a lot about carving. I'm planning on doing some more and stuff. But I carved her up, and I seasoned it the night before because I wasn't sure how long it was going to cook. Didn't use a binder. I just used Malcolm Reed's AP rub and then some Holy Cow. Nice. I like Holy Cow on beef, man.
Dude, it's so good. It's got so much pepper, which just...
Yeah.
Goes awesome on
and not a lot of sugar, I feel like. Just really good. Anyway, so did that. Woke up I was going to try and have it on at 4 a.m., but I slept through my alarm. So I got up at 4 a.m. and started the smoker up and put it on. It took about 10 hours. And in that time, my brother showed up and he brought some peach and cherry wood that he got from a guy over in the orchards over in Willard. So ran kind of just a mix of hickory, peach, and cherry. Just kind of, first time trying some of those. And anyway, overall, it did pretty well. I cooked it for about 5-6 hours till it hit the stall about 160. And I wrapped it in butcher paper and then put it back on for, I don't know, I think it cooked total for 10 hours. So then I put it on until it hit about 200 and was just really soft. And then I pulled it out, put it in a cooler, and rested it for about an hour and a half.
Did you wrap it?
I did. Did I not say that?
I don't know if you didn't say it or if I wasn't paying attention.
Rude. I did wrap it. I wrapped it when it hit the stall.
Okay.
Just in butcher paper. So
nice.
But yeah. And then he brought a pork shoulder too that we threw on. And that was really good. Dude, the offset, I'm getting excited. There's some modifications I need to make to it. Like my grease management system is a pipe that's just sticking out the flat bottom. And it's a mess. And I've got to make some changes there. But overall, it cooked pretty good. And I feel like I've kind of got the temperature figured out-ish. I know there's a lot of variables that could happen there. But as long as you keep a fire going, it works pretty good. So
how hot you run?
I mean, between 225 and 275. I tried to keep it about 250. So
awesome.
The side by the firebox usually is about 25 to 50 degrees hotter than the other side. So, which, according to Jeremy Yoder over at Mad Scientist Barbecue, you damper your exhaust to kind of even out your chamber.
Oh, okay.
Which I played with it a little bit and it did fine, but it didn't hurt to have, this side at 250 and this side at 225, especially when the brisket started to get done and the pork shoulder wasn't really moving. I just switched them and worked out okay. So
nice.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a blast. So.
And honestly, getting up at 4 a.m. for stick burner barbecue, that ain't bad, man.
Dude, I posted a reel, I put my hammock out there, just kind of napped in my hammock. The sun came up. It was beautiful. It was a great day on Saturday. So
that sounds like a dream. Just sorry, gotta stay here with the smoker.
Yeah.
Can't do anything.
I told my wife, I'm not going to be a lot of help. And she's like, that's okay. She's a really good sport. But seriously, that's all I did. And it was super chill. So.
Our wives are the greatest women.
They are, dude. They are. Find you a woman, guys, that will let you smoke things all day. But just meat.
Yeah.
Don't be smoking other stuff all day, all right? They deserve better. But, yeah. So it was a blast. Then I'm excited about the offset. I'm a little bummed, and we kind of talked about this before. A little bummed at the price of fuel. To run an offset smoker, you got to use a lot of wood. And I think down south where it's everywhere, wood's pretty cheap. But here, to get hardwood that's not pine or something like that, you got to pay a little bit. So I feel like you got to find good deals. You got to know people, or else you got to get truckloads like we've talked about.
I was going to say, I was just going to scroll back through our texts because I know there's a spot down in Salt Lake that we can buy a truckload for, I think it's about $300. But yeah. As I'm starting to scroll through here, I'm starting to realize you and I text a little bit.
Yeah, we text a lot. More so in the last 6 months than we probably did before. But I think that's the only way to afford it is to get it by the truckload. I was like, you can just get a bag. You don't need. But that bag of hickory, I think I paid $30 for it at Home Depot, and it lasted. I've still got a little bit more, but I would have used the whole bag on that cook just because I started supplementing with peach and cherry. So, yeah. $30 for a cook. That's a little more than charcoal or propane or pellets even.
Well, yeah, and especially when you're when you think about the fact that, it's a $60 brisket, and
Right.
briskets come way down from
Right.
where it used to be.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So I'm a little bummed about that. I don't have a ton of money to be thrown at this. Otherwise, I'd be doing it, all day, every day. But I think there's got to be some options out there. So
yes.
I just got to do a little more research.
Yeah. Well, we just need to go cut one down and let it cure.
Yeah.
But were you aware that box elder trees are from the maple family?
I feel like I might have heard that before. Can you smoke with maple?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I have no idea if, box elder maple is any good.
Yeah.
Because
Like,
it's
I
not
know you can't, put a spile in it and get syrup from it or anything.
Yeah, it's not a sugar maple.
Mm-mm.
But, yeah,
Really?
you can smoke with maple big time.
Dude, if we could smoke with box elder trees, those are very prevalent and everyone hates them. It'd be really easy to
Yeah.
procure an exorbitant amount of box elder wood. Interesting. I'm going to do a little research on that.
Yeah. If anyone's an arborist and knows anything about box elder trees, reach out to us. I
Yeah.
have questions.
We've got some things we need to find out.
We'd love to have a discussion with you. But
Tell us about your cook, John. You gave me a little sample of this, and I wasn't mad about it.
I know. And it was like pulling teeth trying to get a hold of you.
I know. I'm sorry.
And then I got sick of waiting. I was like, I'm just going to Mike's house, and you weren't home. And I think the only reason you even knew I was there is because of your doorbell camera.
That is exactly why I knew you were there. 1,000 apologies.
It's all good. Yeah, I made beef ribs. I have wanted to make beef ribs for a very long time.
I think you told me they're kind of hard to find, right?
Well, so I had they had them at Costco. No joke, for 3 weeks. I was like, I'm going to get some beef ribs this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to Costco 3 different times. And of course, by the time I got there, nobody was in the meat department. But there were no beef ribs to be found.
Bummer.
Yeah, because there are all sorts of different kinds of ribs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you want a plate of beef ribs. I was watching Bearded Butcher.
Okay.
I think it was it was Bearded Butcher that I was watching.
Big fan.
So for beef ribs, for diino ribs, the USDA cut is a 1, 2, 3A cut, but it's three ribs, and it's, as I show the camera, it's probably, I don't know, call it 12 by 16.
Okay.
Is is the plate of ribs you get.
And that's what you got.
That's what I got.
Okay.
Lots of places will take those and then cut them into 3 or 4 inch sections, and you get short ribs.
Short ribs. That's what I've heard. Okay.
Yep. So this is all the short ribs put together.
Gotcha.
And holy crap, was it good.
Yeah.
My dad I told my dad I was looking for him, and man, my dad will go find anything.
He's a man who knows how to get things.
He is...
Like on Shawshank.
Dude, he is solid. So he talked to the guys at Sam's Club while he was there. He's like, hey, do you guys have any of this? And of course, they had this big cryovac of 2 plates. And
Oh, wow.
I was like, I really only need one. They're not the cheapest thing in the world.
Yeah.
But
How much per pound are they?
they were $7 a pound.
Okay.
So it was $40 for a plate.
For
So,
a plate, which is 3 ribs.
Yeah, I think the whole thing was 80 something bucks.
Gross.
80, $90.
But we're not talking pork ribs. These are big.
No,
there's a lot of meat on these.
It's huge. So
Yeah.
And they're so rich. There's so much marbling and so much intermuscular fat. Eating one of these, man, that'd be Thanksgiving meal. It would just put you in a coma. Yeah, so we cooked one of the plates, and it was... I'm trying to think. So my family of 5, which granted, my 4-year-old eats like a bird. The other 2 more than make up for him, though. So, and then my we'll see. I think Beans is going to make a second appearance.
He just figured out he got left out of the podcast. He's coming after us.
Yeah. Which is tangent. Beans made a trip over to the vet last week. He's not quite the man that he used to be, so to speak.
Poor dude.
And I don't remember who said it, but at some point over the weekend, someone's like, I don't think we can call him Beans anymore. So his like papered name is like Frank N. Beans. So
We just call him Frank.
So everyone started calling him Frank now.
I'm doing it. That's hilarious.
Anyways, so my family of 5, my parents and grandpa, so 8, call it 6.5 for the kids. Took a decent helping to you, and then I've had it for 2 days of lunch, and I think there's one more serving left. So like it served a lot of people. Yeah, but just like the most spectacular bite of beef I've ever had in my life, like melts in your mouth. I got an awesome bark on it.
Yeah, tell us about the cook. How do you cook these?
The cook is so easy. So huge shout out to Matt Pitman and Chad Ward. They did a series for, I think it was like Ultimate Barbecue or something for Traeger. Leading up to Traeger Day, they had this big video series, and one of them was beef ribs. And it's like the easiest thing in the world. Like, trimmed some of the hard fat off of the top. Probably even less than I normally trim a brisket. Like, you don't have to peel the membrane off the bottom of the ribs like you do pork ribs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they
it's
were
still there, right?
Yeah, it's still there, and they were both just like, "Don't do it."
What was that?
I'm not sure, guys. It's bedtime at the Hayden house, so we may hear some things tonight.
We may see things.
But yeah, so trimmed them up a little bit. Took off anywhere where you get like that hard fat on the top. Like you probably found some on your brisket.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't render down. So cut that off. And then I seasoned it up. No binder, just seasoned it with Holy Cow. And they went out on the smoker at 250. And they went for probably about 9 hours. And like I was a little worried because like they got to their stall pretty quick. But then they sat in their stall forever.
Really? It's interesting that ribs would hit a stall. I feel like it's usually huge pieces of meat. And
well, I mean, don't kid yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
Like
that's true. It is a big piece of meat.
It had like 3 inches of meat on top of it. And the thing that surprised me is Matt and Chad both made a point out on this video of like saying that they cook theirs to 210. Like you can stop at 203 and treat it just like a brisket, but they typically cook theirs to 210. Like I could never get mine to 210. Like they got to 205 and just sat there for an hour, and I was like, well,
guess they're done, huh?
Guess they're done, and I want to have dinner at some point. So I pulled them off and let them rest for an hour. It was also kind of cool. Like I always rest my meat, but it's always just like give it at least 20 minutes or however long I need to hold it till the meal. They talked about resting it down to a temperature.
Yeah, some of my brisket videos were saying that. Interesting.
Yeah. So they talked about resting it down to 140. I didn't have time to go that low. I think mine were about 165, but like it held temp for a long time.
So when you rested it, you didn't put it in a cooler, you just put it on the counter and let it go.
Set it on the cutting board and let it just sit there on the counter.
Interesting.
Yeah, so we did that, and then we sliced the ribs, and we just shredded it. Like, I could have left it together.
I was going to say, how would you serve that if there's just 3 ribs, 500 people?
Because I had so many people, I just shredded it up,
Yeah.
and it was great. We had Haley made her mac and cheese, and we had, shredded beef ribs and mac and cheese. And,
Did you just pull it to shred it?
oh, yeah, like, it was just falling apart.
The stuff you gave me after I reheated it in the microwave was just melt in your mouth, like, so good.
Yeah. And there was a ton of rendered fat that came off of it in the smoker. And then just like the bottom of the pan was loaded, which it was awesome. Easily in the top 3 of my favorite things ever I've eaten. And I don't know I even did that good of a job on them.
No.
But they were...
I quite enjoyed them.
Oh, yeah.
What did you season them with? Did you say that already?
Holy cow.
Just holy cow, that's it?
Yep.
Straight holy cow.
Straight holy cow. And it was just like friggin' fantastic. So definitely will do again.
Yeah. I sure enjoyed them.
Yeah.
So beef. What other beef things are like brisket and beef ribs that we don't do? Prime rib. I've never done prime rib. You do prime rib for Christmas, don't you?
We do it for... Do we do it for Christmas or New Year's? I don't know. One of those at the end of the year, we do one. Rarely do we actually do prime rib. So, like, a prime rib is just a rib. It's a standing rib roast that is prime grade. So I've done a lot of choice rib roasts.
It goes select, choice, prime, right?
Yep. Yep.
I feel like I'm kind of a select type of guy.
Brisket's the one that I think I actually like cooking choice better than I like cooking prime.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just like it needs more fat for as long as it's going to cook, and it's already kind of a tough piece of meat that having a leaner piece of meat isn't always what you want there. But buy the best thing you can get.
Yeah.
And you have to work a little harder with select, I feel like, especially when you're cooking hot and fast and steaks. But no, I mean, you get a ton of choice.
Yeah.
I only, rarely will I eat prime.
Yeah.
So
you gotta pay a little bit for prime. What makes it prime? Just the marbling and stuff?
yeah, it's the marbling, it's the fat, it's how the cow was raised, I think. So I think prime is supposed to represent like the top 2%
Oh, really?
of beef.
Good heavens.
Someone's gonna at me, like, so
Like,
somebody
no.
should fact check me, but I think it's the top 2%.
So is Wagyu and stuff above prime? Or is it just a different type?
Wagyu's like a specific like heritage.
Like breed? So like
Yeah.
Black Angus, Wagyu. Gotcha.
Yeah, it's like
What's the other one?
Kobe.
Yeah, that's what
Kobe
I'm
is
thinking.
like Kobe has to come from the Japanese line to be Kobe beef, and it, like how they're raised and everything is how you. End
Somebody
up with
told me they
Wagyu.
just massage them with sake all their life or something. Beef.
Yeah, but other awesome beef things to cook: tri-tip.
Oh yeah,
I feel like we've talked about
about
tri-tip.
that a lot, and it's accessible. I feel like tri-tip's easy to. I mean, it's not going to break the bank. It feeds a lot of people. It's easy to do.
Yep, which is interesting. I didn't realize. I think I knew it in the back of my head, but the Great American Barbecue Cook-Off or whatever, season 2 just dropped on Netflix.
What?
Yeah,
Dude. About freaking time. I've been waiting for season 2 for like 3 years. I feel like it came out during 2020.
yeah, it's been a long time coming. But tri-tip is a cut from California.
Oh yeah, I've heard that.
So I think we've got a lot of access to it. It's not real prevalent like in Texas and stuff.
That's what, yeah, I've seen some videos, like Malcolm Reed's done some videos, and he's like, I mean, I'll try this. We don't really get it a lot down here. And I was like, what? But yeah, turns out it's a California thing.
So there's that. Ooh, picanha.
I've never had that. I saw that you made
Dude,
it. It looks great.
I love it.
What is it? What's the difference between that and tri-tip? Because they kind of look the same just looking at pictures.
I don't remember where the tri-tip is on the cow.
Just a different cut of meat
But
then.
the picanha is the sirloin cap.
Okay. Is that what they slice up to make sirloin steaks?
It comes off of the top of the sirloin that they use to make. Sirloin is the picanha, like that top sirloin cap, is redonkulous.
Really?
It's so good.
Do you cook it like a tri-tip?
Hot and fast. So I normally do my tri-tips like 225, and they go for about hour and a half, 2 hours. The picanha, like I crank it up and 375, 400 for
Oh, really?
25 minutes total, I think. But that's
You have never done picanha.
yeah, that is one that they almost always have at Costco.
Really?
Super good, super simple, relatively cheap,
Yeah, what's the price like in relation to tri-tip?
comparable.
Really? About the same?
Yeah,
Might have to try it. I'm sure I've had it, but
yeah. If you go
never made
to
it.
if you've like been to Rodizio's or Tucanos,
That's what I was
it's-
thinking,
it's
the
a
Brazilian type
C-shaped-
of stuff.
Yeah, it's a C-shaped piece of meat that comes out on the skewer,
Okay.
and they slice off the sides.
Yeah, I've had it. Okay.
So good.
Yeah.
Big fan of that. What else? Chuck roast. Poor man's brisket.
Dude,
Can't go wrong with burnt
Big
ends
fan.
from Chuck roast. I really want to do a Thor's hammer.
I don't know what that is. What's that?
A beef shank
Oh.
that they like French part of the bone instead of making like soup bones.
Oh.
They French part of the bone, and you've got this bone and this big old like round club of meat on the end.
Huh.
It looks super cool.
I've never even heard of that. Have you ever done oxtails?
I've seen them. I've never eaten them before.
Yeah, me neither.
I mean, I've eaten.
They look interesting,
I've
but
eaten most of the other parts of the cow.
yeah.
So
Have you done the cheek meat?
Uh-huh.
Apparently that cheek meat's supposed to be money.
Dude, barbacoa, like
Yeah.
the whole cow where you're like picking the meat off of the skull.
Uh-huh.
Kind of morbid.
Yeah. A little gross.
Holy cow, it's good.
Yeah.
It's the same thing when we did Irv.
Yeah.
You had some of that cheek meat, didn't you?
I don't think so. I think it freaked me out too much.
I thought I gave you some and didn't tell you what it was.
You probably did, but I don't remember it. I was kind of tired when we started eating Earth, so I don't remember much about post-cook. But
I just remember wanting to, like, cry.
yeah.
And Danny, bless his heart, man.
Oh, yeah, dude.
When he came over and just, like, took the shovel, like, everyone's like, what can I do? What can I do? And I was like, I don't even have the energy to, like, tell you what to do.
At that point, it's almost more work to tell people what you need done than to just do it.
And Danny just, like, grabbed a shovel and started shoveling the sand out of the pit into the barrel.
Saved the day, man.
Yeah. Yep.
He's a good dude. Well, that's all I got on here, John. I do want to know if you wanted to give an update on our tank.
Come back next week.
Dun, dun, dun.
We're picking the tank up.
We're doing it. It's happening.
Yeah. Posing no logistical challenges.
Yeah.
We're going to pick our tank up. And I bought a trailer for it
Yeah,
to go
tell us
on.
about the trailer. John just shows up in my house yesterday. Hey, come outside. Check this out. He just bought a trailer.
Which is funny because, like, I've got a pretty nice, like, flatbed trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to that flatbed trailer, I have bought some pretty redneck, janky-looking trailers.
You had a boat trailer for a while, didn't you? That you were, like, turning into a flatbed trailer or something?
Yeah.
I remember that.
Before that, I had a trailer. When I first started my pellet business, I bought this trailer that was, like, made from, like, I don't know, like, I swear, semi-axles. Like, it was huge and heavy. I called it Big Red. My wife called it a big redneck eyesore and was, like, humiliated that I would even park it in our driveway. Like,
She was like, me or the trailer?
and, like, let's be real. Like, the lights on it didn't work, so I had these magnetic lights that I had zip tied to the trailer.
Classy. I love it.
Yeah. And it pulled like crap. I sold that one to a guy on Facebook. all of these have come from Facebook, by the way. Facebook Marketplace is like my...
I need to get on there and play around a little more.
Haley's like flipping through her gardening and like chicken posts and stuff on Instagram. No, I'm on Facebook Marketplace.
Looking at trailers, huh?
All sorts of things. But I have bought like 4 or 5 trailers at this point off of there. Bought that trailer for, I don't know, like $300 or something. I sold it to this guy for more than I paid for it.
Oh, sweet.
And like, I can't overstate how like big this trailer was. Like, it's a tall trailer. Like, the deck of the trailer I think was 3.5 feet tall. This guy showed up with a Jeep Cherokee.
Oh, good heavens.
Bought this trailer and towed the thing back to I don't know where. I had like fixed the lights on it, but it was a 7-pin connector and he only had a 4-pin. He's like, "You don't think the police will stop me, do you?" I was like, "I think the police are going to stop you with this thing, man. Like, you're..."
You might stand out a little bit pulling this huge trailer with a Jeep Cherokee.
Yep, so...
As long as he doesn't wave at them, they should be fine.
Shots fired. So we bought that trailer, got rid of that trailer, and then we found... I think it was for like $400 we bought this trailer. It had a pop-up camper on it that these kids had taken a boat trailer. And I, like, no joke, they were like 16 years old that we bought this trailer from. They had taken a boat trailer, and on the front of it had dropped a Jayco pop-up trailer. And behind it put a couple of sheets of plywood that they'd like drive their 4-wheelers up on. Oh. So that they could go hunt and camp on. Like,
that's pretty cool.
It was probably like their pride and joy at 16 years old. Like, but the trailer was busted. The camper was busted. It wouldn't like lift up or go down or anything like that. That I took the trailer to the dump after I had like cut their incredibly crappy welds. Like, and I can't weld for anything, but they had like stick welded the camper to the trailer.
Oh, wow.
And we wrapped a strap around it, and I like paid the guy at the dump driving the bulldozer like $20 to like lift it off, and I pulled out. We left the trailer.
That's awesome.
Left the camper there. And that trailer like sat in my dad's backyard for a year while we talked about how we were going to finish it and just never got around to it.
Does your dad weld?
Yeah. I mean, he knows how to. So my dad grew up racing and building sprint cars. Yeah, he and his buddy Steve. Steve's family was really big into the sprint car. And like now Steve's son Will, I think, still races sprint cars. But so my dad raced, and they built cars and did all sorts of stuff. So he can literally anything in the garage my dad can do.
That's cool.
And has saved me thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
So we were going to like build this trailer, never got around to it. Somebody I think drove down from like Idaho Falls.
Oh, wow.
And bought this boat trailer.
Sweet.
Again, for more than we paid for it.
Jeez.
What are the other ones? Anyways, we'll wrap this up since everyone loves my trailer stories. I was on Facebook Marketplace. Somebody had another trailer they were planning on making flatbed. This one had been a big camper that they had taken the box off of. It's square, it's flat, it's got great tread on the tires, and it's like 16 foot long. It's going to look awesome with a 500-gallon propane tank on it, a basket for wood.
I'm excited.
Life's going to be awesome. Build. Yeah. Yeah, I'm super excited for this build. So, so More Creations is hooking us up with the tank. Need to talk to him. Like, he does metal CNC stuff that we may need him to make us some parts and
make us a little. That's cool.
Yeah. So we're going to pick that up. We'll take you guys along for the ride when we do that. Hopefully it's this weekend.
Yeah.
If not, we'll do it soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm super excited to get that built, and
That'll be cool.
my wife keeps asking me, when are you ever going to need a smoker that big?
How dare she?
And I was going to say, I can think of at least 2 or 3 times a year that I use, 3 smokers that I'll only have to use 1 now.
Yeah, there you go. Plus, it's way more fun. Dude. I am loving I've used it twice because wood is hard to come by, but this box elder thing might be a game changer.
Yeah, really. If anyone is still listening.
If anybody survived the trailer sagas, episodes 1 through 9.
And you know about box elder trees, or if you have even better, if you have an old box elder tree that's been cut down laying that you just need hauled away, please reach out to us. Because that would be some great wood to practice with. And I really want to know how well it cooks.
Yeah, if it works. Interesting.
So.
Okay. Well, until next time, I'm Mike.
And I'm John.
And we're Fat Guys with Smokers.
Thanks for listening to the Fat Guys with Smokers podcast. Be sure to check us out on Instagram and Facebook. Leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Be sure to subscribe so you don't forget to tune in for even more nonsense from a couple of Fat Guys with Smokers.
Don't forget to subscribe.